What's up YouTube, Oliver from Tech TV here. Today I'm going to do my review of the mobile Bluetooth keyboard for iPad mini. This is from mobilefun.co.uk. Now the first thing you can see when you look at the packaging is that this looks like a fairly generic keyboard. It isn't actually specified as being any brand, it's just an unbranded keyboard. Probably a closer look at the packaging, it's got some specification points about the keyboard on here, and it's very basic, and on the back there's some pictures of the keyboard itself, and it actually also says here it's made in China. You can tell from the packaging it looks like a fairly sort of cheaply produced made in China keyboard. Let's have a look at the actual keyboard itself inside the packaging though. So we take the keyboard out and have a little look. So the first thing you're presented with is the keyboard itself and also an instruction manual. This is just fairly basic. It just tells you what you should expect, some of the features of the product, and explains how to pair it. You can also tell from the instruction manual the grammar isn't perfect in it. Also shows that it's potentially fairly cheaply produced. The other thing in the packaging, you don't really notice this, but right at the very bottom, hard to get out, here it is a micro USB charging cable. This is what you plug into a USB port to charge up the keyboard. So let's just have a quick look at how long that is. I would probably say that's about 1 meter long. It's long enough because if you're just plugging it into a computer or something, you don't really need a very long cable, and it's short enough to be able to carry around with you easily. So let's just run over some of the specifications of the keyboard, and then we'll put the iPad in. Okay, so the keyboard, when the iPad's in, there's a 60-degree viewing angle. It has a built-in rechargeable lithium-ion battery which has a 160 mAh capacity. So from that battery it takes about 4 to 5 hours to charge, and you're going to expect to get about 60 days standby, and if you're using it constantly, about 55 hours of constant use. So that is quite good. I can't vouch for those massively because I haven't had it for long enough for 60 days to be able to test it, but it does seem quite accurate. There's an energy saving keyboard sleep mode, so after 30 minutes the keyboard will switch itself off if it's not being used, and that saves the battery. And of course there's a physical switch on the keyboard which we'll have a look at in a minute that allows you to turn it on and off like that. The operating distance is 0 to 10 meters. It charges by micro USB cable, which is the cable you just saw, and it uses Bluetooth version 3.0. So let's just have a quick closer look at the keyboard before we put the iPad in. So it's a nice size. You can see firstly, have a little look at the back. It's got 4 feet on it, and it's got a nice aluminium back on there. It's like brushed aluminium. And if we turn it round, on the front you've got these 4 rubber feet in the 4 corners. These are if you place the iPad mini in, they protect it so the screen doesn't touch the keys. You've got a connect button. This is like a Bluetooth pairing button. You just press this to pair the iPad with the device. You've got an on-off switch, and you've also got a light here which lights up blue when there's Bluetooth, and this just also is a power light. This just tells you that it's powered on. Got a couple of little clips. This just holds the iPad mini in. Unlike the Logitech keyboard, it's not a magnetic fixing, it just is physical plastic that holds it in. We'll have a look at that in a minute though. The keyboard layout, it's quite a nice layout. The keys are a good size, and one of the things you might notice, things like tab and caps lock keys are on their own key, whereas on the Logitech keyboard they have to share a key. So that's one of the benefits of this keyboard. It's very thin, as you can see. Not very bulky at all, and overall it is a very good keyboard. And one other thing, on the right hand side here, the little micro USB slot for charging with that cable. It's fairly simple, and actually it doesn't feel awfully heavy, and it is a very portable device. We'll have a closer look at this in a moment when we put the iPad in. Okay, so I've now got my iPad mini here and my keyboard, so it's quite easy to pair. First thing, we're going to just turn the keyboard on here. Lights up. We're just going to go onto the iPad now and just make sure Bluetooth is enabled. Just go over to settings, Bluetooth, and then just turn that on. So what we're going to now do is press the connect button on the keyboard, which is that little button beside the switch. Just hold that in, and then the Bluetooth light, which is the one on the left, will start flashing. So then you just simply tap on it and it'll connect. So we're going to just test out some of the things. So we're going to just press the home button. There we go. It was a little bit slow response there, so it did take a little while when I pressed the button, but normally it's not too bad. So firstly, let's just have a little look at some of these function keys across the top of the keyboard here. So firstly, you've got to press FN to use any of the functions that are in blue. Press FN. If you press the first one, you get Spotlight Search. If you press the second one, you get brightness down. Third one, brightness up. The other one, you can put the on-screen keyboard on and off. The 6th and 7th and 8th one, the 6th lets you rewind, sort of if you've got music playing. I can't play any music for copyright reasons. The 7th allows you to play and pause, and 8 is fast forward. You've then got volume mute. You've got volume up and volume down. And then finally you've got the lock button, which just basically locks the device. I'm not going to do that because then I'll have to unlock it, but I'm just going to go into notes here. So let's create a new note. So basically it's very easy to type. One thing I do find when I'm typing is that because the keys are smaller and also it's slightly risen, obviously I've missed out the space there, I'm trying to talk while I'm typing, but one thing I've noticed, they do feel a bit claustrophobic when you first use it because it's a small keyboard compared to a full size one on a computer, so that takes a bit of getting used to. It isn't too bad though. Once you've done it a couple of times, you start to get used to the smaller keyboard. The keys are nice and springy. They're comfortable to type with. Now the other feature of this keyboard though, and normally when I do reviews I like to test all the features, is that you're supposed to be able to place the iPad mini into the keyboard like a case. However, I didn't want to risk this because I felt that I didn't feel safe putting the iPad mini in. The little clips that hold it in place are plasticky, and when you run your finger on them, just in my opinion, feel a bit sharp. And for that reason, I didn't want to put my iPad mini in because obviously it could scratch and that kind of thing. Normally I would just for the review, but in this case I felt like it did feel quite like scratchy plastic, and I didn't really trust it. So for that reason, I haven't tried it out in that way. But just one thing, you know, if you were buying it, you can do that. It's up to you whether you would use it or not. But I think it is a very nice keyboard and it's worth the money if you use keyboards a lot. If you don't find yourself typing a lot, then the on-screen keyboard is, you know, it's enough for what you probably would need it for. But if you like typing heavily, like if you're constantly writing emails or your job entails that you do a lot of typing on your iPad, I definitely think the keyboard's a nice addition. Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to check out mobilefun.co.uk if you'd like to purchase this. I'll have all the links in the description, and if you have any questions you can leave a comment. Please thumbs up this video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this coming your way very soon. Bye for now.